Hey guys, Zach here to bring you my next movie review. Thank you to everybody that watched my last three movie reviews. If you haven't already, you can check them out. I'll put Thor right here, 12 Years a Slave up here, and then Star Trek Into Darkness up here. Thank you for everybody that gave me their feedback. And if you haven't watched them already, go ahead, go watch those. So today I'm going to be reviewing Hunger Games Catching Fire, the sequel to the original Hunger Games. This movie is about Katniss Everdeen, played by Jennifer Lawrence, who won the last year's Hunger Games with Peeta, played by Josh Hutcherson, and now President Snow wants to get rid of Katniss at any means necessary, and he includes the help of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, who plays Plutarch Evensby, as a new game maker, and they find a way to get all the tributes from past games winners into one tournament, the Hunger Games. It's the 75th annual, and they're trying to get rid of Katniss. They don't want to kill her personally. They have to find a way to make her become one of them, and then they're going to eliminate her so everyone doesn't view her as a martyr. So the first movie I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was a good movie. It did have its fault, as all movies do, but I enjoyed this one so much more. That's not a knock on the first one, because the first one is a very good movie. I thought Jennifer Lawrence was perfect as Katniss Everdeen. I thought Peeta, Josh Hutcherson, who plays him, they could have got another actor, but in this movie he comes into his own and he plays a great sidekick to Katniss from the first one. And in the second one, well, he's not really a sidekick, he's more the love interest. And then you have Liam Hemsworth, who plays the other love interest, who plays Gale. I personally love Chris Hemsworth as an actor. I think Liam Hemsworth is coming into his own as an actor. And then you got Donald Sutherland playing the always evil President Snow. I think he does a great job in this movie. I think he gives a great evil performance, and as a lover of the second book, it's probably my favorite out of the three. I thought I wanted to see a lot in this movie, and they gave me most of everything that I wanted. Then you got Finnick, who I was really hoping they got Ian Somerhalder from Vampire Diaries to play him, but I was disappointed. But the guy that they got to play him was really good. I forget his name. I'll put a picture up of him, but he was very good in this movie. I thought he did Finnick as much as he could, and he did him pretty good from what I thought he should have been. Then you have Plutarch Evensby, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who gives a great performance as the new game maker. I really like Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think he's an amazing actor. I think he gives a great grounded performance for the gamekeeper. They did leave out a couple scenes with him and Katniss that I thought were very important to the plot, but he still gave an overall great performance. It's not a knock on him, it's a knock on the movie. Who else? The girl they got to play Prim, and then Woody Harrelson gives an amazing performance as Haymitch. I love Woody Harrelson. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he's the perfect person to play Haymitch. I thought he was perfect in this role. He still surprises me, as I think when I read the Hunger Games book, I couldn't think of anybody else to play Haymitch than Woody Harrelson. I think that was the perfect call on the filmmakers to get him to be the part. Elizabeth Banks gives in a good performance as Effie. I'm not a big fan of her in the books, but she's very dramatic in this movie, and it really gives that movie that much-needed bounce that it needed from the first one. The first thing about this movie that I loved, there was no shaky cam. I love that fact. It's like if I took the camera and was going like, ah, ah. Yeah, that was horrible. I apologize for that. I didn't mean to do that. But that's like the whole Hunger Games movie was, the first one. It was a lot of shaky cam, and the fight scenes, you couldn't even see who was hitting who. It was terrible. This movie's no shaky cam, fight cam, whatever fight cam is. But there's no shaky cam, and I love that. Director of this movie did a better job than the original director. I really like this movie. It's more dramatic. I think Jennifer Lawrence, as a dramatic actor, is very grounded in this movie. You feel for her character, and you understand the tribulation she's going through, as I think she's kind of suffering from PTSD, where in the first one she kills some people, and it kind of affects her in this movie, which I like those damaged characters a lot better. Josh Hutcherson gives a better performance as Peeta, as he's a lot more interesting in this movie, and I kind of want him to end up with Katniss towards the third movie, and I felt for his character more than I did for Gale, who I thought was better in the first one than Peeta was in this one. But Gale's still good in this movie. Liam Hemsworth gives a good performance. Jennifer Lawrence, of course, is perfect as Katniss Everdeen. I think she embodies everything we want in Katniss. She's very awesome as a badass chick. She knows when she needs to fight, but she also's got her dramatic moments, which is awesome about the movie. This movie is very dramatic. I have to say that it pulls on the heartstrings a lot more than the first one did. Even though the first one was rushed with a lot of the dramatic scenes, like the part with Rue, I think is a bigger part in the book than it is actually in the movie. But they do leave out some scenes in this movie that should have been put in from the book, I think. But they did put it in two of my favorite scenes in this movie that from the book that I really wanted to see. It was probably the ending they put in. I really loved the ending. I envisioned it the exact way as they put it. And then the scene between her and Katniss and President Snow in the beginning of the movie where they're talking. It's a fantastic scene. Donald Sutherland and Jennifer Lawrence give a great performance. I kind of inkin it to The Dark Knight when what's his face? Heath Ledger and Batman, well, Joker and Batman have the interrogation scene. That scene was perfect. And this scene is also very perfect. I think when a hero and a villain finally meet and have a talk, no violence involved, it's powerful, and you want to see more. You want to see them have this conversation. And I liken that to Jennifer Lawrence and Donald Sutherland's performances as President Snow and Katniss. The only faults I have with this movie were the book to movie translation. I really don't think there's very much wrong with this movie. It's 2.5 hours, so if you don't like that, I can't recommend this movie to you if you don't like long movies, but I thought it was perfect. I didn't feel like 2.5 hours was the movie time. It went very quick. The story progresses at a very fast pace. The build-up is perfect from the beginning to where they get up to the Hunger Games. I think it's a very good movie. It's fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite movies of the year, as I'm going to give this movie a must-see. I couldn't give it any other rating. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. I think the acting is phenomenal. The directing is perfect. And the cinematography, they make the Capitol look fantastic. And it's just, this movie looks gorgeous. And then you got Lenny Kravitz, who I forgot to mention earlier in the review, but Lenny Kravitz is Cinna from her personal dresser, and he gives a good performance in this too. I've never really viewed Lenny Kravitz as a good actor, but he gives a pretty good performance, and the scenes between him and Katniss are really heartwarming and touching. I thought that was a perfect dynamic to this movie. The love triangle, a lot of people are comparing this to Twilight. I have to say, those people, this is better acting and a better overall story. I think Suzanne Collins did a great job writing her book. She's a lot better at writing than Stephenie Meyer. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. But the love triangle is forming, and it's becoming great, and I like it. I like it a lot. There's parts that I would take out from the first one about the love triangle, but the relationship between her and Peeta is what drives this movie, and it's a lot better than it was in the first one, because I guess the first one wanted to make it a point, well, the first movie and the book make it a point not to really, they're supposed to fake their relationship, but during the course of this movie, she starts falling for Peeta, and there's this one scene where they're on a beach, and no spoilers, but they're having this conversation, and me being kind of a hopeless romantic, they kind of touched me, and I really liked that scene. I thought the dynamic between Peeta and Katniss was great in this movie. I thought it was a lot better than the first one. That's a very good compliment to this movie, how they got Josh Hutcherson in the first one wasn't that great, but in this one he becomes better, and I can't wait for the third one, because a lot of stuff happens in that movie that I can't wait to see, that from the book, that I can't wait to see them put on screen. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, those links will be up. You can check those other movies review. I let you guys go for the weekend because I needed a break from movie reviews, and you guys needed a break from me, honestly. But I'm going to be back this week with more movie reviews. I got Captain Phillips, Fruitvale Station, The Way, Way Back, The World's End, At the World's End, and a couple other movie reviews that I didn't do this year that I have to put for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Zach, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.